One of the things that impresses me most about this industry is I don't think people have any concept of what goes on when they go down to Home Depot or Lowe's, grabs that 2x4 and goes home and knocks something up. It's an industry that keeps you excited.
There's something special about being a part of the legacy. We get to build these beautiful machines.
We have no constraints as to what we want to do. If we can think of it, we can manufacture it.
We have machines that are processing logs at upwards of 550 feet a minute.
This industry is truly the sustainable industry.
For the amount of trees that you actually cut down, there's 2 to 5 times many trees put back in the ground.
We've been sustainably harvesting lumber for this province for over 100 years.
No one ever hugged a concrete building. With a wood building, there's a sense of life in there.
Debarking the log is the very beginning of the process and arguably one of the most important. My name is Al Blakey. I'm the maintenance manager here at Coastland. The Nicholson debarker is as elegant as you can be with debarking a log. It's a very violent machine typically, has to be robust equipment. Our primary objective is to improve the recovery of fiber going through. The less damage, the better. A nick in the outside of that log affects our bottom line. It's not an exciting, glamorous piece of equipment. It's not really enjoyable to watch. It takes the bark off a log, but it runs 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Pretty boring piece of equipment.
In a good way, right?
If it's exciting, then that means we're having to work on it way too often. It's so robust and built so well that it is kind of a boring piece of equipment because it just does its job. My name is Robert Brown. I am the maintenance superintendent for Murphy Veneer in Foster, Oregon. Every Nicholson debarker that I've been around has outlived its expectations.
Debarkers are something you really don't have time to hassle with in manufacturing wood products. My name is Mike Don, and I'm the General Manager of Veneer Operations for Murphy Company. 2 Nicholson debarkers at Springfield Forest Products in Springfield, Oregon when I started in 1992. Omak, Washington, there's 1 Nicholson debarker there. Worked in Bonner, Montana for Stimson Lumber Company. There was a Nicholson debarker at that facility at that point in time. South Coast Lumber, Roseburg Forest Products in Weed. I've been peeling veneer or making veneer for the past 31 years. And of all the Nicholson debarkers I've been around, I don't recall one being problematic. You buy it once, and then for the life of it, you get a little bit of service here and there, and you buy some spare parts, but it's something that you just count on being there day in, day out and running.
We learned a lot from the previous iterations of our high-speed debarkers.
Each design is better than the one before. The A8 is our flagship machine. It's the most durable debarker in the business.
Working on that A8, it's pretty straightforward, easy maintenance. There's not a lot of breakdowns on it. When there is, it's fairly easy to pull stuff open and rebuild it and replace it. Name's Brandon Larson. I'm the maintenance lead. I work at Murphy Veneer in Foster, Oregon. Certain times of year, the bark comes off a lot easier, so it's not as hard on the knife tips. Those wear out probably more than anything. Other parts of the year, it's kind of glued onto the log. So we gotta bump the pressure up a little bit so we can actually get down to the fiber.
The whole process of making those knife tips is very time consuming. Each carbide insert has a mold and it has to be designed, and the mold needs to be designed and it needs to go to the carbide insert manufacturer, and they need to proof it, and they need to make it, and need to send it back to us. So this new additive manufacturing, it gives you the flexibility to try all kinds of different materials, different powders. So we had $500,000 worth of these carbide chiclets in stock because we needed dozens of every individual size. With this powder, we have a bucket of powder, and the geometric constraints of that powder is basically what you can imagine to do with it.
Not only do I take pride in selling this equipment, I take pride in the fact that Nicholson is a provider of solutions to the debarking industry. We want to make sure that when we sell a product, that product is right for you. Hopefully, of course, it's a Nicholson. But if it's not a Nicholson, we'll point you in the right direction. got warehouses in the States, we've got warehouses through Canada, we've got warehouses in Europe and the South Pacific. Anytime someone orders parts, usually we can get them to them overnight.
The after-hours service for Nicholson, absolutely great. My name is Sean Eby. I'm with Coastline Wood Industries in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and I'm the mill manager. I distinctly recall 2 occasions where I actually physically drove down to Sydney, met a guy at the gate prior to the opening bell there, and get us that part. So continuous operation is obviously one of the benefits of the machine, and then the company supporting it as well.
All I can say about Nicholson is they could continue to sell us parts to repair this machine over and over and over. Instead, they recommend this upgrade, which will reduce the repairs and improve the operation. That speaks a lot about the company's interest.
I think it's the longevity. We're not a splash-in-the-pan company.
There's a machine running down in New Zealand still to this day that was delivered there in the mid-1950s. We've long since lost the ability to produce parts for that machine cost effectively because it is a one of a kind, but that machine is still running. What are we now? 65 years on. So I'm trying to sell the guy a new debarker though.